Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Homestead, Miami. Speedway, Homestead, Florida, site of the Miami 200 Superior Class Auto Racing NASCAR Cup Series. With more than 1,000 palm trees and a Caribbean color scheme, the facility projects a South Beach flavor that distinguishes Homestead, Miami from any other major racetracks in America. It took a while longer to get the right combination for the racing surface. In its first iteration, the track had 4 separate low-banked corners, reminiscent of a mini Indianapolis. That configuration failed to promote good racing and unfortunately also provided bad crash angles. Widening the aprons failed to correct either of these problems. Major reconfiguration of the track during the summer of 1997 brought a more conventional layout, sweeping 180-degree corners at either end of the oval. Close but still no cigar, with most recent work on the track, during which the track assumed variable banking up to 20 degrees in the corners, flattening to 3 degrees on the straightaways, seemingly done the trick. Everyone agrees Homestead, Miami, the beauty is now more than skin deep. That brings us tonight in the Superior Class Auto Racing NASCAR Cup Series, race number 4 of the playoffs. And it's next here on HBR TV. Once again, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. Welcome, Homestead, Miami Speedway. Joining me in the booth is Eric Dotson. Qualifying already underway here. Looks like Cody Harger has made his way to the racing surface. First car up on the board. In fact, no time logged in already, so we're just in time. Eric, how are you doing?
Doing good, Steve. How about you?
More of the same, I guess you could say. Just getting over a little bit of a sickness here. Don't worry, not COVID. Looking at Cody Harger, though, looks like he's already got right side damage. How did he get that?
I am not sure.
He hasn't even completed his first time lap, so I'm not sure. Well, maybe he has and just didn't clock in because of that contact with the wall. Guys are running that Larson line here at the Speedway. Fast way around, and if you miss it just ever so slightly, you're going to put that thing up in the fence. Cody clocks in just shy of the top time. Bobby Hamilton Jr. is on top right now at 33.69 for the number 16 Hateful Chicken. That's all he's going to give it here. Thomas McMullen, third fast. His first lap at 33.815. He's in the gas still. Going to give it another go. Lap 2, see if it's any faster. Losing some spots already, though. David Bradford up to the top of the board, a 33.66. These guys were sub 33.40s in practice. Certainly the draft coming into play during that as well. A little bit of an improvement out of the 0-2, 33.805 for Thomas McMullen. Brian Rose out on the track, his first lap. Sure, if maybe Brian got into the fence as well, because we've got no official time for the number 89 Track Bar Media Camaro as he works into turn number 3.
Yeah, when I was out there practicing, I seen a few of these guys get into the wall trying to run that higher groove, so that may be something we see in the race.
Good time for Brian, though, at 33.628. Puts him third quick so far. He's still in the throttle. He's going to take lap 2. Oh, maybe a little contact off turn 2. Not sure if he got the fence or not. It looked like it, but he's still in the gas into turn 3. Up in the fence once again. Lap 1's going to be it for the 89 of Brian Rose as he gets loose off turn 4. Last car to take a time. It appears we do have a 5-minute session. Like we've got Alan DeFries, Carson Conway, Neil Quick, Mark Truxel, Jeff Napier, Jesse Bobo, all still to take time in qualifying. As of now, your top 8 drivers: David Bradford, Justin Napier. He puts that number 54 machine on the outside front row. Brian Rose third, Bobby Jr. 4th, Cody Harger 5th, Thomas McMullen 6th, Colt Ansley 7th, and Vincent Short 8th. Went live a little bit sooner than we expected, at least as far as the session. I thought we had another 5 minutes, so we kind of caught this last minute. But again, we got to jump in here real quick. Thank the sponsor, of course, the Hateful Chicken, primary sponsor of the Cup Series, Super Late Model Series. Really the whole league, not just one series, the Hateful Chicken Hangout or Carry Out. 615-246-1563 or stop on down 164 South Main Street, Suite 300, Ashland City, Tennessee.
We need to go there.
We do. It's going to happen one of these days. Hell or high water, we got to do it. Qualifying is in the books. Before we get to the starting grid, the official starting grid, I want to take a look at the current point standings. This is round number 2, race 1, race 4 of overall of the playoffs for the series. David Bradford on top. Brian Rose, Thomas McMullen, Will Hewitt fourth. Will not making it tonight. Will miss tonight's race. Mark Truxel, Jesse Bobo, Vincent Short, Bobby Jr. Your top 8 for the points. Now to go to the starting grid for tonight's race. On the pole, of course, it is the 46 of David Bradford, with Holler Boys racing a 33.445 second lap out of the 46. To his outside, a surprising quick time for Justin Napier, and I don't mean because he doesn't have talent, because he certainly does. He's on that front row. We didn't see a whole lot of laps out of him in practice, but not even a full 10th off of the pole. So Justin Napier looking stout outside front row starting position for the Hateful Chicken, number 54. Brian Rose, the second row, starts third with Holler Boys Racing, Track Bar Media Camaro. To his outside, it is the 16, another Hateful Chicken. That's Bobby Hamilton Jr. Row number 3, Cody Harger, the number 66, Plasmine Technologies Toyota Camry with Charger Racing. And to his outside with TCB Motorsports, it's Thomas McMullen. Starting in the 7th spot, it's Cole Ansley with Outcast Racing, the Rick Motec Chevrolet with Vincent Short, also a Track Bar Media entry, starting 8th. Neil Quick with Quick Esports starts the 9th position with Mark Truxel in the 5, starting 10th. Alan DeFries will start from the 11th position. He's with HLC Motorsports, and Jesse Bobo in the 7 will start 12th. Jeff Napier, also with TCB Motorsports, will start from the 13th position with Carson Conway starting shotgun on the field, the number 72 Country Designs Ford. Your starting grid here from Homestead Miami Speedway. Field already formed up, getting ready to take the green flag. We'll be underway here shortly here at the Speedway.
Who's your pick, Steve?
I'm going to go Brian Rose.
Green flag. Thomas McMullen.
All right. Green flag is out. We're underway here from Miami. Sun is starting to set already. It's going to be a challenge for these drivers later on, but we're off and running here. Lap 1 of 134 in the Miami 200.
Justin way up high running that Larson line.
Justin already to the top of the board here. Lap number 1, the 54 out front gets around David Bradford for the lead. We've got a car spinning. Not sure. That was Thomas McMullen. He gathers it back up. Not sure if that was related to a connection issue. That was a big problem last night during the super late model event. Thomas did end up winning that race, but major connection issues for the O2 Murder Creek distiller machine last evening. Not sure if that played a part in this most recent incident. Doesn't look like he hit anything, but definitely got the car sideways off turn number 4.
That's the broadcaster's curse right there. As soon as I take him, that's what happens.
Well, the good news is it is early. Thomas has certainly got time to gather up his thoughts and get that squared away. We do have a stage break at lap 40. So if he can just stay on pace, stay on the lead lap, he'll be just fine. Get that car serviced and back in the running. He'll have to start from the rear of the field, unfortunately, for that. But meanwhile, up front, David Bradford has taken over back the top spot from Justin Napier. The Hateful Chicken now relegated back to the 2nd position. Maybe some patience being shown by Justin Napier here early on at the Speedway.
Ooh, gets a little loose right there. Loose again.
I think we're going to see a lot of that here this afternoon, regardless of what the reasons for it are. Place is tough. Field already pretty well strung out, by and large, probably due to the fact that the O2 got loose real early on there. Stumbled everybody out. Everybody checked up relatively soon. They out of impacting that O2, causing major problems. So we got away with that one, but it certainly stretched out this field. Ryan Rose just ahead of Vincent Short. They battle for position. Rose is in the 6th spot. Vince Short 7th. Just behind them, it is the 5 of Mark Truxel. Looking a little racy here early on, lap 5.
Yeah, according to my notes, it looks like he got an EOL to start this race.
Yeah, Vince Short was credited, unfortunately, with an end-of-line penalty to start the event. I believe that was actually not a win penalty, but a legitimate penalty due to some avoidable contact in a previous race. That's a new point system they're working with here as far as a licensing system goes, to keep down the riffraff, so to speak. So he's made his penance. He's got to run some clean races here, and he'll get that point to fall off. It's much like driver's points when you get a speeding ticket. You get a safety course and they fall off.
Looks like him and Brian's both trying to make that high side work right now at top line.
Oh, Brian might have got it into the fence just a hair there. Hard to say.
Talking to Brian before this race, he did not feel confident about it, but it seems like every time he tells me I'm not confident here, I'm not liking this, he ends up in the top 5.
Well, I was kind of saying the same thing. He was mentioning how he's just not running here. He's off pace. He can't do this. He can't do that. But then he throws down a lap. He's, was fastest in the initial part of practice. Drops down a little bit, but having a good run here so far. Again, it is relatively early. He's putting some distance on teammate Vince Short. He's got Mark Truxel in behind him here. Mark has moved up now to the 7th position. Ooh, a little wiggle by Brian Rose. Another wiggle, tank slap, maybe a little scrape. A relatively decent save by Brian Rose, avoiding complete meltdown, but gets into the fence off turn number 4. He's going to give the position up to Mark Truxel and Vincent Short. Move Brian Rose back to the 8th spot. Colt Ansley running in the 4th position here. We're starting to close in on the 16 of Bobby Hamilton Jr. The Hateful Chicken Ford Mustang just up ahead. Hamilton Jr. running in the 3rd position. Arrived here late, got some practice in, but maybe 10-15 minutes at most.
Looks like Colt's going to challenge for that position here.
Certainly is. 10 laps in. That's going to be under pressure here. Colt Ansley trying to get things done, move towards the front. And we talked about the point standings. You don't see Colt Ansley in this playoff standings. He's had his issues throughout the playoffs, was eliminated relatively early. So the 86 is going to be on the hunt for trophies here from Homestead to the end of the season. So keep an eye out for the driver, that Rick Motek Chevrolet.
Yeah, I remember last race talking to him. He said, hey, I'm out of it. I'm racing for wins now. So I think it'll definitely lead to him being more aggressive, and he's going to chase these trophies.
Dangerous combination when you got a guy like Colt Ansley. He's so aggressive behind the wheel. Sometimes it doesn't pay off. Sometimes you end up in wrecks, but sometimes you win races. Now you got nothing to lose. I look to see the 86 possibly in victory lane at least one time before the season comes to its conclusion. Bobby Jr. looking to the inside of Colt Ansley, trying to take that position back away. Going to clear him into turn number 3. Bobby Jr. back to the 3rd spot. Justin Napier starting to come backwards as well, while David Bradford has checked out. 4.3 second advantage over the rest of the field as we work lap 13. Got quite a few people here already in the Facebook side of the streams, a couple over in YouTube, but either one, both sides, please say hello if you haven't already done so. I see a lot of you guys watching. Some of you already checking in. Let's see here. George Wall cheering on David Bradford, the 46. Of course, to no one's surprise, Terry Ansley cheering on the number 86. course, absolutely. We've got the Hateful Chicken here ready to see who's going to win tonight. I know who they're pulling for. It's that 16 or the 54, I bet. Melinda Lawson here watching. Change her name twice. I got Melinda Lawson Hamilton. Maybe she's got 2 accounts. I don't know. Either way, you got 2 accounts. Go ahead and use them both. Makes us look good.
That's right. Want to see the Hateful Chicken versus the Hateful Chicken for second here.
Got ourselves a cockfight for the second spot. Justin Napier up number 54. The 16 of Bobby Jr. right behind, but Bobby seems a bit quicker. Wants to take that spot away. He's also got Cole Ansley trying to put the pressure back on to take over that 3rd spot. Bobby pedaling it just a bit off turn number 4. That's allowed this group to get grouped back together. Bobby makes a move to the inside into turn number 1. Looks like he's going to take the 2nd spot away from Justin Napier.
Justin's going to try to make a move back down here on the inside. Don't think he's going to be able to.
Not that I want to pick on Justin Napier, but sometimes, and he's a racer, and that's really what causes this. I'm just as guilty of it. But you got a strong car. Obviously, he does. He was out towards the front at the beginning of the race, qualified front row. Gets passed now by Bobby Hamilton Jr., but also loses the spots to Cole Ansley. Cody Harger moves Justin to the 5th position. What I was going to say is you saw Justin try to battle back down to the inside. It's racer at a fault is really what it is, because that's what you want to do. You don't want to give up those positions, but you got to think big picture. You got to save those tires. I know they've got 5 sets over the wall that they can play with here this afternoon, but you don't want to burn them up at lap 18 because you still got another 22 laps before we get to the stage caution. If you're trying to score any points, want to try and keep that machine up towards the front. Of course, you see him, he's already slipped back to the 5th spot.
Yeah, he's done this a few times earlier in the season where he's been, you know, really hard to catch and really fast early on, but, you know, he just uses them tires up way too soon.
And again, I don't mean to pick on Justin at all. Maybe call it constructive criticism. I'm not the fastest on ovals by any means. It's strictly an observation, sir, so don't get mad. I know he's my best friend and all, so got to keep things kosher between us.
I thought I was your best friend.
Well, second best friend.
Gosh.
Taking a look at David Bradford out front, still with a significant lead over 2nd place Bobby Jr. 4.4 seconds as he gets to the line, starts lap number 20. David's really just on an afternoon cruise right now, doing what he can to run the laps, click them off one at a time, save that race car to the end. Again, no fast repairs in the playoffs, so got to keep that thing straight and clean till the finish.
Yeah, it looks like we're halfway.
Carson Conway's slow at the bottom of the racetrack. Not sure what happened with 72 of Conway. Back up to speed. A little bit of right side damage. Maybe got in the wall, gathered it back up. No caution for that, but Conway does go a lap down to leader David Bradford. A little early to be a lap down. Unfortunate circumstances for the 72. If he can stay the first car lap down, he will get that back when we get our stage break here in about 19 laps. Oh, Cody Harger in the fence just a bit there. Homestead Miami Speedway is almost turning into a modern day Darlington Speedway. Seems that you got to run that real high line. You got to risk it, run up near the safer barrier. If you make a little mistake, you get a, well, I guess a Homestead stripe. Have quite the ring to it that the Darlington one does, but either way, it causes just the same kind of marks on that right side of that race car.
Yeah, just a little bit of scraped up paint.
Might not be the first time Cody's gotten into it this afternoon already. It is a little scraped up, but there is a little bit of daylight between that hood and right front fender. Not sure if that's going to affect him aerodynamically right now in behind Cole Ansley. Probably not an issue. Gets that thing in the wind, it might cause some issues. We'll have to see how that pans out, or if he spends the time to get that fixed, stage break.
I think he may be just a tad bit faster than Colt, but he just can't. He don't have enough momentum to pass Colt.
Certainly not losing ground on the 86, but again, he does have the draft to help him, as we do see some damage as well in the right front of Colt Ansley. They may be kind of equal footing here. Also got Nikki Short here in the stream chat. Nikki, thanks for saying hi, cheering on Vincent. Not a huge delay here, guys. I just don't always look down at it. Cody's still trying to do something with the 86 of Colt Ansley as they work down the front straightaway here. Will Jones joining us. Will, if I remember correctly, last time we ran here in the old Cup car, you put a whooping on the whole field. Closest battle on the racetrack right now, it is Colt Ansley with Cody Harger. These two less than a car length apart. Cody cannot make it by right now. Maybe in the fence again. Hard to say with that camera angle. It's real tight. Not giving up though. Harger still in the throttles, giving up some ground, a car length and a half now. The disadvantage for the 66 up to the 86 of Colt Ansley. Colt drops it down low this time. Cody goes up high. That's kind of been the line to the 66 has been running most of the afternoon. Little crossover off turn 4, trying to see what he can do. Doesn't seem like he's just got quite enough to get around the 86. What do you think there, Eric?
Yeah, I mean, I think he's just a tad bit faster, but just not fast enough to pull off the pass. Like we've talked about all season, when somebody else is running the same line or close to the same line and you have to do something different, it makes it a lot harder.
Justin Napier is in the pits here, lap 27 of 134. Not sure if he's trying a different strategy here. He had very good speed early on. Seems really early to be in the pits for tires. I know the fuel run, you can go 60 laps on a tank of fuel here, so he is very early. Not sure if this is going to pan out for the 54 or not, but he is down and away, 4 tires and fuel for Justin Napier, the Hateful Chicken, back in the race.
Maybe a strategy move.
We've seen Justin do that a couple of times in the past. It doesn't always work out, but it certainly has before. Jeff Napier is kind of notorious for making some strategy moves like that as well. So maybe some conversation happening before the race, what you can do to try and overcome the deficit, overcome the speed disadvantage that you have to drivers like the 46 David Bradford or the 16 of Bobby Hamilton Jr. Can't beat him on raw speed. You got to find another way. If you just follow the leader, you're going to follow the leader.
Ooh. Somebody in the wall right in front of our leader there.
Might have been Bobby Hamilton Jr. in the fence. He's already towed back to the pits. Caution doesn't come out. I don't know what happened there. Let's see if we can get a replay here. We stay under the green flag with 10 laps to go in stage number 1. Bobby is in the fence. Chases it down the racetrack. And just locks him up. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, not sure. Maybe he had a VR issue or...
That's a good possibility. I know that's happened on occasion. It's not a frequent thing with the 16, but tough break. Yeah, Bobby Hamilton Jr. appears to be out of this race. David Bradford still out front by a full straightaway over the 86 of Colt Ansley. Puts Jeff Napier a lap down. Jeff now the first car a lap down as we approach the end of stage number 1. We still got about 9 laps left before we can wave the green and white checkered flag. Colt Ansley and Cody Harger still doing battle here for the third position. It was 4th and 5th. Now it's 3rd and 4th with Bobby Hamilton Jr. out of the race, it appears.
Looks like Cody's still trying to work on Colt.
Losing some ground here. It's 2-3 car lengths. The disadvantage for Cody Harger as they work into turn number 1.
You know, somebody that I expected to be up front is Neil Quick. You know, he's had quite a slow start here.
Yeah, Neil Quick usually right up front in these things. He's won some races across all 3 series within Superior Class Auto Racing this season. Came on late, not in it for the points. We talked about the last Cup race we ran here. Neil Quick was just kind of going for the throat. Same thing Colt Ansley's doing here, not in it for the points anymore, trying to get some trophies. I will say this, though. Neil is up 2 spots, running in the 7th position. Now, Bobby Jr. is fallen out of this race here. That gives him 1 of those spots, but nonetheless, Neil Quick not making a whole lot of noise. But again, strategies could be at play. No sense to burn up the car and damage it this early on. Actually, still looks like he may have some right side damage. Minimal, if that, but either way, we've got stage coming up here at lap 40. Another one coming up lap 80. That'll take us from lap 80 to 134. That will finish out the race. Longest stage of the day. The Carson Conway in the fence there just a bit as well.
Ain't no way. It's like Carson's having a tough time keeping it out of the wall right now.
Yeah, this place is tough, but even with that said, he did start shotgun on the field, so he's up 2 spots right now. Lap 37 goes on the board. Vincent Short up to the 4th spot, still trying to battle here with the 5 of Mark Truxel. I think Vince may have caught the wall again in that corner. Mark's down to the bottom of the racetrack, trying to take over that position to move the 5 up to position 5. Not quite enough off the corner. Sounds like Mark's actually shifting 4th to 5th there. Let's ride along here with Mark Truxel and take a listen.
Don't look like he did that time.
He's in 4th gear right now. If you look at the dash, the middle right lower, it says gear 4 in yellow, if you can see it. You guys are looking on your iPhones or Galaxies or whatever, you're not going to be able to see it. But if you're up on a monitor or a TV, there it is. He grabs 5th gear halfway down the backstretch. He's into turn 3. Still 5th gear. Justin Napier had a moment off of 4 there. So let's try it again here. Into turn 1, 4th gear. Yeah, so through 1 and 2, it looks like Mark Truxel is shifting. You can listen to it again on corner exit. He's in the throttle. Bang 5th. There it is.
After this stage, we need to ride with David Bradford and see what he's doing. I know it's the last lap of this stage here.
Well, we did talk to David before the race in practice, and he was not shifting, but definitely that is a good idea. More so towards the end of the run. I don't see Mark. We'll have to ride with Mark again once they get the fresh tires on and see if he is still shifting. But David Bradford now handily with the lead, 9 seconds over Colt Ansley. Lap 40, final lap of stage number 1. David Bradford's going to win stage 1. Dude, the battle is for the second spot. Colt Ansley, Cody Harger still kind of battling it out. Second and third goes to Colt Ansley and Cody Harger. Mark Truxel gets 4th. Brian Rose takes 5th.
I know Brian and Vince was battling hard for that 5th place.
Certainly were. Well, we are under caution here. Our first caution of the afternoon, the evening. No incidents so far. Let's knock on wood to keep it that way. This is a stage break. Lap 40 is in the books. David Bradford hasn't led them all, but a good majority of them. Saw Justin Napier sneak out to the lead relatively early, take over that top spot, but then give it up pretty quickly to the 46 of David Bradford. David Bradford just set sail, moved it out to a 9-second advantage. That all goes away here at the end of the stage. Drivers will get the opportunity to take on fuel and 4 tires. Make it to stage number 2.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing on pit road is everybody's going to get that right side fixed a little bit.
Except for guys like David Bradford who haven't put it in the fence just yet.
He may be the only one because I think I've seen about everybody scrape it.
I'd be willing to bet you're right. The 46 looks clean, but everybody else there on back, right side's pancaked pretty good. Lose some side force out of that. Field down the pit lane here. Lead lap cars at least. Jesse Bobo misses the pit lane, it looks like. David Bradford cleanly into his pit box. Right sides go in the air. Sunoco Racing Fuel going in. Through around the left side. More tires and fuel for the Crown Royal number 46 of David Bradford. He's down and away. Going to win the race off pit road relatively quickly. Repairs being made to some of these other guys. Mark Truxel is down and away, though. David Bradford is going to be coming out second overall as Jesse Bobo missed the pits. Cody Harger is going to be third. See if Jesse Bobo rolls around the track here and does make an attempt to hit the pit lane the next time by. We'll see Justin Napier peel off the banking as well to do the same. Jesse Bobo does get a lap credit for leading, which might have been strategy play for the 7 or just kind of a happy accident for him. It looked like he locked him up on pit entry, trying to get down the pit lane the first time around. Does get some points for leading, though. He is a playoff driver, so that may have been a strategy call or just, like I said, a last second, well, I'll get my lap lead here and take the penalty for not pitting when I'm supposed to. But Jesse Bobo on the pit lane now, as well as Justin and Jeff Napier both.
Yeah, I mean, he hasn't looked strong here tonight, so, you know, maybe his plan was, hey, let me at least get a bonus point and get a lap led and try to get better as the race goes on.
Well, we're going to go to the driver, the 46, David Bradford, and get a word with him real quick before we go back to green. David, it's Stephen Eric, the broadcast booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
David, tell us about that first stage, man. You didn't have the lead right away from the pole. Justin got around you, but he took it back rather quickly and led all the way to the stage end. How's the car feel?
Tight, man. Very, very, very tight on old tires. I think we were down to 66% right there on the right front. But learned something from that last restart, and I think I'm going to take the top on this one.
Certainly saw a lot of guys, speaking of the cars being tight, getting that car into the fence is almost like a new Darlington. You're getting a Homestead stripe. You were one of the few guys that didn't get up into the fence, and if you did, there certainly wasn't any right side damage. But we did see some other guys on the older tires grabbing 4th gear, at least into 1 and 2. Are you shifting it all out there or no?
Nah, Steve, I ain't got time to do that, man. We're just so tight. But you might have just Danica'd me, and you know, now that you said my name, I'll probably smack the wall a good time or two.
All right, David Bradford, congratulations on the stage 1 win. Good luck here going back to green.
Thanks, man.
David Bradford, our stage 1 winner. Field working off turn number 2. We are on the 1 to go. Green flag will be out at lap 46.
Looks like he's definitely going to take the high side. He said he thought he might. I guess he decided to.
I mean, it makes sense. I mean, if it didn't work in the first stage, try it in the second stage. He's clearly got the pace to make it back towards the front if he needs to. So even if Cody gets the jump and takes the top spot away, same thing happened at the beginning of the race. Justin Napier was able to make that work, take the lead, but David Bradford, again, with just so much more pace than the rest of these guys, at least right now, able to take the top spot back. Pace car peels off the racetrack, waiting on the 46 to get in the gas. He certainly is in the throttle. We're back underway here. Miami 200, lap 46 goes up on the board. David Bradford out to the lead once again as they work into turn number 1.
He was able to get a little bit of jump, but Cody's trying his best to fight back.
Not anymore. 4/10 the advantage for the 46. It's about 8 car lengths at least back to the 66 of Cody Harger. David Bradford already in his own zip code after just 1 lap.
Yeah, coming out too, it was close, but that was it.
If we had an issue with Vincent Short there just a moment ago, he seemed a little slow off turn 4 and into turn 1 here. More damage to the right side of the number 15 track bar media entry.
Yeah, I think Vince was up in 3rd or 4th place on that restart.
Definitely up towards the front at the time, but not working out right now. Handling becoming an issue for all of these drivers as the night wears in. Sun is still setting here at Homestead Miami Speedway. Top 5 right now: Bradford, Harger, Quick, Rose, and Truxel. We talked about Neil Quick early on. Already up to the 3rd spot here as we work lap 48. Relatively quiet first stage for the driver of the number 2 machine.
Looks like he's trying to make some noise now.
Certainly is. Neil Quick down low on the 66 of Cody Harger up top. Off turn number 4. Looks like Neil Quick's going to take the 2nd position away from the driver of the number 66. See if he can set sail and track down the 46 of David Bradford. It's amazing the time loss that both these drivers have had to suffer during that short battle for the 2nd position. David Bradford out to almost a 2-second advantage over the 2nd place machine.
Neil Quick's been on a hot streak here lately, so we'll see if he can use that momentum to run David down.
You know, Neil was running some pretty good practice times outside of this session earlier today and previous days, so he's got pace. Right now, his best lap, though, is a 33.68. Taking his sweet time, I gotta say, but David Bradford's a 33.44, so certainly not shabby by any stretch. Track conditions changing as the sun goes down. That's going to certainly affect how these cars handle. Seems to be doing just that.
And one thing I feel like Neil's always said when we've talked to him, he likes the car on older tires on a longer run.
Same thing with David Bradford for certain. See Colt Ansley making a move here on Brian Rose, 4th position. Colt 5th, trying to take away 4th from Brian Rose. Mark Truxel just sitting there once again like the golden retriever trying to pick up the table scraps. He's certainly been good at doing that all season long. Again, a clean race driver, doesn't cause problems, usually gets that car to the finish every single week. Wrapped up the Superior Class Auto Racing Road Course Series recently. Mark Truxel managed to bring that car home 2nd in the standings, as we see a little wiggle out of Colt Ansley there. But Mark ran 10 races, he ran all but 10 laps of the entire season. And he had, if I remember correctly, I think it was 22 incident points for 10 races. That is a pretty clean incident point average. I had 30 or 33 or something to that effect, and I would guess you could classify me as a road course guy. But clean, smooth, patient, that is Mark Truxel, and he's showing it here, trying to make some moves here, trying to get by the 89 of Brian Rose. Might have it for the 5th position as they work down the front straightaway.
Yeah, that's definitely impressive for the road course.
I mean, there are some guys that only ran 1 or 2 races that had more than that.
That would have been me. I would have been in that group.
Well, it's a work in progress. Season 1 is in the books. We got a car in the wall. Don't know who it was. We saw the sparks fly. Clearly no caution. Might have been Colt Ansley. Not sure. Let's take a look at the 86. Doesn't appear to have any damage to that right side. Looks pretty clean to me. Cody Harger, not so much. Maybe it might have been the 66. It's hard to say. Would think that Colt would have closed the gap significantly if that was the case, but maybe just checked up to avoid contact, and that would explain why Colt is back where he's at. 1.9 seconds in the rears of the 66. But as we talked about, moving forward, as far as that road course series is concerned, rather a development series. It's not geared to be a high intensity, high competition road racing series you might expect out of the Class A and the 3000 I rating plus guys that run IMSA all the time. It's more of a development, trying to get some of these guys that are just getting their feet wet in the road racing craft and learn the craft, get into it and try to have a good time. We use the old sports cars, the GT1 sports cars from the early 2000s. Those are fun to drive for me, but they are quite the challenge. We're trying to figure out what we're going to run next season here in SCAR, whether it's going to be a road racing series with ARCA cars, or if we're going to switch to this new Brazilian stock car. I did turn some laps with that machine here this afternoon at Watkins Glen. They turn laps at similar lap times of the ARCA car, but they just drive a little bit different, a little better as far as the handling is concerned. They've got a push to pass, which is certainly different to anybody that's used to running ovals. It should be fun, but again, we got to make a decision on that going forward. So got a lot of exciting things in the forecast for Superior Class Auto Racing. Of course, we've got new seasons coming up here pretty soon for Cup, Super Late Model, ARCA. Maybe those are going to be changing up. Maybe a truck, maybe Super Speedway Series. There's a whole bunch of options, but we got a caution flag here. Not sure what has happened on the Speedway. Possibly Jesse Bobo?
Sound like somebody may have went around. I heard a lot of tire noise.
Got no indication as to who it could have been. Let's watch and see. Maybe it was Jesse Bobo. David Bradford, Neil Quick, Cody. Colt, possibly. He slipped to 7th. Yeah, it was Colt Ansley in trouble. Get it rewound here. Oh, yeah. Spins it off turn number 4, trying to make a move with the 66 of Cody Harger. Off corner 4. They're tight, and then they're loose. Colt does an amazing job to keep that car off the wall. Flips it up the track, almost in front of the path of Mark Truxel. That's why the yellow flag waved. There was some traffic coming in behind the 5 as well, so that would explain it. It brings us under our first yellow, at least for an incident, on the Speedway, as everybody's down the pit lane here once again.
Everybody gonna get them fresh tires. You know, David and Neil were kind of back and forth, staying around the same time, so I'm just wondering, you know, if they come out first and second, don't have to fight with anybody else, how this stage may end up.
Well, it's interesting because Neil Quick ended up in his pit stall off the 7th spot, but he's rolling. David Bradford beats him out. It's going to be a 1-2. Well, Vincent Short stays on the track. Curious to see how much of a detriment that'll be for the 15, but we're going to step aside here, take a short break, right back and get a word from the Hateful Chicken. We'll be back after this. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Homestead Miami Speedway, Miami 200 under yellow here for our third caution of the evening, lap 60 of 134. This time, first incident related caution on the Speedway. Colt Ansley losing it off turn number 4, trying to make a pass on the 66 of Cody Harger. No contact made, just a simple spin down the front stretch. A great save by the 86 to gather it back up and get back into this race. Pace car lights are now off. Going to be going back to the green flag here in one lap.
I think Vince just stayed out to lead a lap because it
Very
looks like
well.
he did the second time. So, you know, he's a championship contender and trying to get every bonus point he can.
We talked about that once again here. Playoff standings, David Bradford, 6 wins on the season already. Ryan Rose is second in the points. Thomas McMullen, Will Hewitt, the top 4. Will's going to drop significant, did not make the race here tonight. Mark Truxel, Jesse Bobo, Vince Short, Bobby Jr. Bobby's going to drop even further, just points deficit to not finishing this race. But Vincent Short, good call, trying to lead some laps here. Try to pad that lead. Of course, he's going to gain some ground over the 16 of Bobby Jr. But every point matters. If you miss it out by 1 point, well, that could have been the lap that you led. So good move by the 15.
Yeah, I mean, him and Jesse Bobo's 4 points different. Jesse stayed out to lead a lap, so Vince said, I'm going to match you.
Yeah, oh, doesn't matter now. Just like he didn't stay out. Pace car's down.
Green flag.
Green flag is waving. David Bradford back in the throttle. We're back underway here. Lap 62 of 134.
Neil Quick laid back there and really didn't get the restart he wanted, but here he comes charging on that low side.
Did he lay back or did he just miss the restart? I'm not picking on him. It's a genuine question.
It looked like it laid back, but I haven't watched the replay to look at it. But I mean, he's fighting back right there. I mean, he's cleared everybody else and right there behind David.
Riding on board with the 46 of David Bradford, looking back at the field. Neil Quick up in that second spot. Eric, we talked about it early on in the race. We didn't see a whole lot or hear a whole lot about the 2 of Neil Quick early on in the running of this race. Took his time, kind of threw away that first stage. There's no point for him to bother. It's a points thing for him, and he doesn't need to worry about that because he's not in that playoff contention. But here he is, second spot, lap 64 of 134, contending for the top spot.
And, you know, both these guys are very good at what they do, and they just got 2 totally different lines right now. Not saying one's better than the other or one's right or wrong, but, I mean, it looks like Neil's been one of the few guys that's been able to go low and be fast.
So just looking through some of the stream chat here, Robert Winger got a big echo. It could have been you, it could have been me. My microphone placement was a little bit different. It may have been picking up my audio of Eric through my microphone. It's a good possibility, but I've repositioned that microphone, so hopefully that position or that issue goes away. Side note, looks like Justin and Jeff Napier may have crashed. This was just a couple of laps ago. Justin and Jeff both exit out to the pit lane. Let's try to get a look and see what happened. But before we do that, actually, we've got a battle possibly for the lead. Neil Quick trying to make the moves here on the 46. He's right to the back bumper as they cross the line for lap 67. But Neil Quick in the fence, bounces it off the wall into turn 1, dives down to the bottom to the side-by-side door of the 46. They work through turn number 2.
It's going to be tough to beat that run off the turn.
David Bradford manages to get that run on the high side like you talked about, Eric.
Neil Quick's been very fast on that bottom in 3 and 4. We'll see if he can do something here.
Well, again, with a name like Neil Quick, you can't be a slow guy out there, and he's certainly proven why he's got the name that he's got. Running in the second spot, was putting the moves on the 46, trying to take over the lead, but David puts the pedal down and pulls away by about 5 or 6 car lengths here as they work off turn number 2, lap 68.
Quick's right there again.
Riding on board now with the 2 of Neil Quick, trying to make a move here. David Bradford a little loose off at turn number 2. It's Mike going to give this advantage to Neil Quick. Clears the 46. David slides back up into that high lane as they work through 3 and 4. Neil loose on the bottom, has to check up. Chases the car up the banking just a bit. David's going to have a run down the straightaway. David back to the inside, taking back the top spot. Lap 70. Great battle back and forth here for the lead between David Bradford and Neil Quick. Lap 70 on the board, and they swap again. The crossover move by Neil Quick on the bottom. David Bradford still up top. The number 46 seems to be the place to be. The momentum is able to defend that position, even if Neil is able to get by and clear David. David's been using that high side for the momentum to kind of take back the position. You see it right here as they cross the line. Speed differential between these 2 cars.
Yeah, these guys are battling hard. I think we may be in for a show here.
We've already got a show. It's been a pretty good race so far. But now we got things heating up towards the front. David Bradford walked away with stage number 1, but now some competition here between him and the 2 of Neil Quick.
You know, David's got to be careful, you know, not to get into Neil or Neil get into him. And, you know, he's racing for more than just a win here. Neil's all for the win.
Well, at the same token, I mean, David's in pretty good position here. We still have to go back and look at the Justin and Jeff Napier incident, but we've got 3 cars that appear to be off the track. 5 cars? Yeah, 5 cars off the track. The worst that David can really go right now is 9th spot, so he can kind of be aggressive here if he wants. Contact again at the safer barrier on corner entry. They're trying to make that as wide of an arc as possible. But David again comes into this. Go ahead, Eric.
He said you was going to curse him about not touching that wall.
Well, David is still trying to battle Neil Quick for this top spot. They both on equal footing as far as pit stops are concerned and tire exchange. Neil Quick, though, takes the top spot. He will get credit for leading this lap. Clears the 46. Let's see if David can make the move back to the inside. He's down there again, going back and forth. The 46 and the 2 of Quick. Now Neil's up top with the momentum off of turn number 2. A little wiggle, a little loose out of the 46. He's going to tuck back in behind the 2. I think Justin Napier is back in the race, has exited the pit lane, just trying to click off laps. All this battle up front has seemingly settled down. Let's try and get a look at the replay with Justin and Jeff Napier. This is at lap 64. Nothing too crazy, really. Looks like Justin loses it off the corner, straightens it up, overcorrects just a bit once he gets down to the flat. And I'm going to bet right into the path of dear old dad. Maybe, maybe not. Oh, yeah, just goes right to the back bumper. You know, the rule is you go right for him. Didn't work this time, did it?
He better get Jeff a good Father's Day present for that one.
We'll watch the in-car here of Jeff Napier. This is the incident with him and Justin. Justin coming up the racetrack. just as the 54 starts to get it back down towards the bottom. 40 starts to avoid by going to the bottom. He would have been probably just fine if he'd stayed up top, but hindsight is what it is. 2020. There you have it. Neil Quick, though, continues to lead just a bit, 0.3 of a second over the 46 of David Bradford.
What's this stage go to, Steve?
This one ends here in just a few laps, lap 80. Again, points would be nice for David Bradford to take that stage win. Second place isn't too shabby either. Got quite the advantage over the 86 of Colt Ansley, back to third, 3.9 seconds the advantage for David Bradford back to Colt. Again, the points will pay to Neil Quick here, but it really doesn't matter. Might as well be funny money for the two. He's not in contention for a championship. He's just here for trophies, but I'm sure he won't mind winning the stage. David Bradford having some trouble here.
Yeah, the best thing for Bradford is, you know, first, third, and fourth are not in the points chase. So, I mean, these bonus points mean even more to him now. Him and Mark Truxel's the only ones that's in the championship hunt.
As far as top 5 goes, yeah, you're right. Neil Quick seems like he's stretching it out just a bit as he takes the last lap, the white flag of stage number 2, before we get the green and a white checkered flag.
All he's got to do is keep it clean, and it's his.
I think this one's going to go to the 2 of Neil Quick. Stage number 2 in the books as he crosses the line. Green and white checkered flag in the air. Neil Quick's going to win it. David Bradford's going to get second. Colt Ansley third. Cody Harger fourth. Mark Truxel will be fifth. That is the end of stage number 2. Once again, we're going to step aside, take a short break, get a word from the Hateful Chicken. We'll be back after this. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Homestead Miami Speedway. Under caution once again for now the stage break, the end of stage number 2. Field working down the pit lane. Neil Quick now in control of the lead cars into the pit lane as the sun has set here at the Speedway. We're under the lights. Neil Quick into his pit box. Vincent Short to follow. Cody Harger, Mark Truxel, Thomas McMullen, Jesse Bobo, David Bradford also in his pit stall. We'll have to take a look at this and see the race off the pit lane. Right side tires going on the 46. Neil Quick down and away. Who gets out first? Ooh, looks like David just might have beat the 2 out.
Looks like Vincent Short may be the first one out.
Yeah, Brian Rose beats out, or Vincent Short beats out everyone. Brian Rose stayed out, leads a lap. Well, let's go have a word here with our stage 2 winner, Neil Quick, although it doesn't seem to matter. as far as the points are concerned. See if we can pull him up here in the booth and have a quick conversation with the driver of the number 2. Neil Quick, it's Steve and Eric in the HBR TV booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got you guys. I hope you guys can hear me.
I can hear you loud and clear. You won the stage 2 here. You really gave a challenge here to David Bradford. We didn't think that was going to come from anybody here, but you made it look good. You made the pass clean and green, and you led it all the way to the stage end. Tell us about it.
No, I was just trying to hit my marks. I was too loose on the outside of 3 and 4, and I started rolling the bottom and tried it on both ends. I feel a little bit better at the top on 1 and 2, and just it either goes a 10th my way or a 10th Dave's way. So good close racing, and just trying to find out what I need to get to the end here. I know I'm struggling with a little bit of connection issues tonight and having a tough time hearing the car tonight. So I was hoping I could talk to you guys so you guys could hear me.
Hear you loud and clear, man. Congratulations on the stage victory. I know the points don't mean much to you. You're chasing trophies, but good luck here as we're getting ready to go back to green.
Yeah, just got to keep it in front of that 46. He's a tough customer out there.
Thanks for talking to us, Neil. Driver, the number 2 Spartan Logistics Management Chevy Camaro out there. Stage 2 winner does not come out as the leader, though. He's in the 3rd spot. Vincent Short appears to have taken only 2 tires on that stop, kind of making a gamble here at lap 84. And Vince is a player for the playoffs. Taking an opportunity to lead another lap here. That could be some strategy he's working. I know you only get credit for the 1 lap, I believe.
Yeah.
But there it is. Lights are off. Top the iRacing pace car. We're going to go back to green next time by. Vincent Short's going to lead him down. Well, Eric, I picked Brian Rose. He's still in this thing. He's 9th. Last car on the lead lap. You picked Thomas McMullen. He's up in the 5th spot. Thinking about changing your mind, or are you good with it?
I'm good with it. I mean, I think Thomas does better as the race goes on, and he gets better with laps turned. So I'll stick by my pick with Thomas. How about you?
I'm going to stick with Brian Rose because, you know, I mean, I thought you guys were friends, but I guess you're going to go with Thomas. So I'll stick with Brian.
Well, I talked to Brian before every race, and he said, this is the worst I've ever felt.
Green flag back in the air. Vincent Short leads him down. Got Colt Ansley in his back door as well as they go into turn number 1. David Bradford already making a move for position. Still right side damage on the outside of that 15 Track Bar Media Chevrolet as David Bradford may be taking that top spot away off of turn number 2.
As close as Vince and Neil are as close as David and Neil is as far as getting around this track, I think it's important for
Cole
Neil
Ansley
to get
loose in turn number 3. Little bit of contact with the 66 of Cody Harger. Damage on the 86 Rick Motec Chevy. How he didn't cause a caution there, I will never understand. Lap 87, we are still under the green flag. I can't even go back to find it. All I can do is rewind it, so that's what I'm gonna do. I hate doing this, but it is what it is. Watch the 86 of Colt Ansley, the high side, the white and red Rick Motec Chevy. Dives it down to the bottom of the racetrack, just gets loose on entry. Great save, but unfortunately collects the 66 of Cody Harger. Minimal damage on the 66, but yeah, not looking good for the 86 of Colt Ansley as we do stay under the green flag. Still out front, though, David Bradford and Neil Quick is up in that spot once again, as to no one is surprised. Vincent Short, though, holding on nicely to the 3rd spot. Brian Rose up to 4th. Now 5th, Cody Harger's up to 4th. Cody's on a mission after that contact with Colt Ansley.
Yeah, for as hard as a hit as it looked, Cody didn't come out that bad.
Yeah, it looked definitely worse for the 86 of Colt Ansley. Oh, and Justin Napier in trouble in the front stretch into the outside safer barrier. No caution still. Don't know what is going on with iRacing here tonight. That would have ultimately brought a caution out anywhere, but apparently here at Homestead.
Get the carnage off the track. Let them run.
Here's Justin Napier again, now without a hood. About 44 laps to go before we call the Miami 200 complete. Brian Rose and Vincent Short exchanging positions here. Brian Rose up to the 4th position. Vincent Short battling for the 5th spot now with Jesse Bobo.
Yeah, I think him 2 tires by Vince. Just not going to be fast enough towards the end of this.
As we talked about earlier on in the broadcast, they can certainly make it to the finish of this race on 1 load of fuel. So they don't have to pit. But I guess the question is, do you pit? You try and take a set of tires under green. Will you drag the rest of the field down if you do that? I don't see David Bradford getting pulled off the track. He's still running pretty quick laps considering his best is a 33.44. Last was a 33.73. I know they pit about 10 laps ago. Cody Harger's back up in the fence once again, wearing out the right side of that Toyota Camry.
I'm not sure you can hurt that thing after the hit he gave Colt a while ago.
Well, we have seen with these next-gen Cup cars, not only in the sim, but even in real life, they can take a pretty good beating and still be competitive. The 66 is certainly showing that here tonight. Colt Ansley, even after his issues, damage and all, hood missing and all, still tucks in behind the 15 of Vincent Short, still turning competitive laps. Not the fastest, a 34.16 last time by. That's only about 4/10 off his best lap of the afternoon. So even with the damage that he's got, still able to turn competitive laps and even making a move for position on the 15 of Vincent Short. Little loose off turn 4, has the 15 cleared or had him cleared. Vincent takes that advantage of the high side momentum to take back the spot, but into 1 can Colt battle back on the inside.
Vince got that run off the corner. I'm sure Colt's going to try it again right here, though. He may clear him this time.
Old Ansley definitely has the 15 clear here. Lap 95. Old Ansley, through his struggles, still in the 6th position. Oh, Jesse Bobo in the fence off turn number 2. Not sure who he is. Maybe Brian Rose got involved there. Again, we stay going green. We stay straight.
It looked like Jesse may have been pulling trying to make that car wide and maybe blocking Brian a little bit. They may have got together right there.
Mark Truxel knocking on the door of the 86 here as the laps wind down. Lap 97 to 134. Truxel in the 7th spot, getting by Vincent Short here on the inside. Thomas McMullen may follow the 5 through. Vince Short in the fence again on corner entry in the middle of 1 and 2. Thomas McMullen is around off turn number 2. Does he hit the wall? He does. Makes contact with the inside safer barrier. Keeps the car straight. And again, we stay under the green flag. Old Ansley making a move on Jesse Bobo here into the corner. Jesse into the fence just a bit. A little scrape into the safer barrier.
Yeah, I think that damage to Jesse's slowed him down. He was running pretty quick earlier.
Got to give a call to the driver, the number 7, that Mountain Dew machine, to Jesse Bobo. Has certainly upped his game here in the closing stages of the season. Made the playoffs. Hasn't won a race or anything this season, but made it on points. But has had some good performances here late. Top 5 runs. Oh, little contact with Jesse Bobo in the 86. A little bit of aggression coming out of the driver, the number 7.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd do it to Colt, because he'll probably remember and get him back.
Eddie Rose wants the Hateful Chicken instant replay. Eddie, all I can do for you right now is give you a replay with the number 54 machine, Justin Napier, and his single car incident on the front straightaway. Thought we were going to have something going on between the 86 and the 7 here. I know Jesse just got into the 86. Let's switch to it here. 2 laps to go. Lap 81, actually. This is off turn number 4. Justin running around with no hood. Just loses it by himself. Gets down to the flat. Gets too much right turn into that car. Spins it back across the track. Very similar to the incident that collected him with Jeff Napier, but hard impact to the safer barrier right at the start-finish line. Justin Napier, day going from bad to worse. But we stayed under green somehow. Back out front, we've got a battle for the top spot. David Bradford still has the lead, only a car length back the 2 of Neil Quick. Laps starting to tick off here, 33 to go before we can get a checkered flag to either David Bradford or Neil Quick, or maybe even Cody Harger, depending on how things shake out. Still anybody's race here within that top 8. Those drivers on the lead lap still have a chance here to win this. Cautions could come out, bunch the field back up, who knows? Or we don't take the hats to victory lane before the checkered flag waves. But right now, David Bradford still in command of this Miami 200. Neil Quick hanging tight right there with him. Last lap, they were 1/100th of a second difference in lap time.
Like Neil was right up against the wall there in 1 and 2.
Well, that's really where the speed is. I mean, it's a dangerous gamble you have to play. You want to be quick, you got to run up top. But it seems like in some of these corners, specifically 3 and 4, Neil tends to run the bottom. Didn't work out for him there as Thomas McMullen, a slow car down low. He had to take evasive maneuvers to go around the O2 there.
Yeah, he did not make that one look smooth, and he's normally a real smooth driver.
Neil Quick looking to the inside, though. Closed the gap once again on David Bradford. Work off turn number 4 across the start-finish line. David Bradford still with the lead. Quite the distance back to third place, Cody Harger. 7 full seconds back to the driver, the number 66. Taking a look to the inside once again into turn number 3. Not quite enough to get alongside David Bradford. Off at turn number 4 once again. David gets the drive off. Still a half car length back to Neil Quick. Neil's going to maybe make a move here to the inside of 1. We'll see.
I think he's tried it too many times in 1 and 2 and realized he can't do it. So I think if he's going to do it, it's going to be in 3 and 4, because it seems like he carries himself a lot better on that low side.
Here comes in 3 and 4 once again, though. Old habits die hard. Neil Quick to the bottom. David Bradford stays up top. Right on board with Neil Quick and see what he sees. Neil Quick out of Imperial, Missouri with Quick Esports Machine.
I think if he gets to the back bumper, he tries it again. I don't think he tries this time. There he goes.
Doesn't have David clear. David in that high line off at turn number 4. Big run coming off the corner. Might cross him up here into one. Maybe, maybe not. He's got some draft as well, but no, Neil Quick's going to take over the top spot. Lap 108 of 134. Move the number 2 Spartan Logistics Management Machine to the top spot.
And I'm sure right now David's just studying what Neil's doing and his tendencies.
Well, he battled there for a little bit. He's going to have to save some tire and try and see what he can do with Neil Quick. These two have battled quite a bit here as of late. Not just here at Homestead, but many races. Big run by David Bradford again here. Forget studying. Let's take the lead back going into turn number 1 with 26 laps to go. We saw this at the end of stage number 2. Back and forth they go. Crossover, Neil Quick back to the bottom, taking the position back away. Side by side down the back straightaway. A drag race into turn number 3. Neil Quick, will he have enough to clear the 46 off corner exit? We'll see here. The middle of 3 and 4 now. David Bradford again, the Larson line up top. Big run going to be coming once again. Neil Quick back to the top, clears the 46 at the line. If this is the way they're going to do it from here to the end, Neil Quick's going to win this thing because that's where he ends up being the leader, is at the start finish. It's one thing to be able to repass, but if you're the leader on the end of the backstretch, it doesn't really make a difference if it's the last lap. You got to be able to be out front, at least get a nose out front when the checkered waves. David Bradford real loose off turn 2, gets down to the apron, does not spin, but loses a ton of ground to Neil Quick with 25 laps to go. Now I think you're going to see David Bradford start to cool some Goodyears down, regroup, regather himself. We got 24 to go, plenty of time to close that gap on the 2 of Neil Quick. But to the contrary, Neil Quick can kind of do the same. Regather himself, just lead some laps, let things click off, save some tire, cool them down. So it's going to be equal footing. David Bradford's still going to find a way to get to that back bumper and even put on a charge here. He's going to contend for this victory here, late stages of the Miami 200.
I think Neil's going to try to put the pedal down here and pull away.
I'm not saying that I wouldn't do the same, but it's also something that I would not do with 23 laps to go when you've got a tire technician behind you with 23 laps to go.
David's already running him back down. Thing where David's going to have to be worried if he catches him is Neil's so quick in 3 and 4. If he gets a good run coming out of 2, I mean, we seen it when they were going back and forth. Neil's tough.
"22 laps to go. Neil Quick still leads. Almost a full second advantage over the 46 of David Bradford. David's still running that real high line, at least off turn number 4. Lap times between the two drivers. Quick ran a 34:35 the last time, a 34:38 for David Bradford. Going to be hard to close that gap, less than a 0.5 of a lap at a time.
David continues to reel him in little by little here. Neil Quick way up high right there. He looks smooth going around the track though. Be 18 to go at the line here with Bradford trying to run Quick down. They're staying about even right now between the two leaders.
David Bradford a tick faster that last lap. This time it's Neil Quick who's a tenth faster than David Bradford, so a bit of a back and forth between these two top drivers. Again, pulling away from everybody else in the field. Cody Harger now 11.9 seconds back in third. Mark Truxel's up to fourth. 17 laps to go. Let's try and spotlight these guys and see where everyone is running. Of course, Neil Quick started near the back of the pack, slowly but surely made his way towards the front. It's been a great battle between himself and second place running machine David Bradford, who started today's race from the pole position. David out of Jacksonville, Florida. Holler Boys Racing, driving that Crown Royal peach colors. 6 wins on the season, trying to make it 7. 16 laps to go, though. Almost a full second behind the leader, Neil Quick. Gonna have to really dig down deep to make it happen. Cody Harger in this third position as he gets in the fence again. Cody's had an interesting night, to say the least. He's had contact with the safer barrier, contact with the 86 of Colt Ansley. He still managed to battle it back here. Started 5th, up to the 3rd position. Pretty much has that one locked in as long as he can keep the 5 of Mark Truxel at bay. But Mark Truxel right there to the left rear corner. Mark Truxel started in the 10th spot tonight, slowly but surely, of course, as always, works his way towards the front with 15 laps to go. In the 4th position, might be taking away that 3rd spot from Cody Harger. They work 15 laps to go. Brian Rose runs in the 5th position, still a good top 5 for the 89 Track Bar Media Camaro. Brian started in the 3rd spot, good qualifying lap, but has had a tough afternoon. Car's been a handful. Handling certainly changing this afternoon with the sun going down. Darkness falling on the racetrack. Brian just trying to hold off the 7 of Jesse Bobo. Jesse's up 6 spots, started 12th. I don't think he made a qualifying lap, but either way, another solid run out of the driver of the number 7 Mountain Dew Camaro. Running in the 7th position is the 15 of Vincent Short. Running Track Bar Media colors, except for the red and white instead of the blue and white. Vince started in the 8th spot. He's up to 7th. Again, a tough afternoon. Had some incidents. No crashes per se, but certainly some damage to the right side of that Camaro. Talk about troubles. Colt Ansley still on the lead lap. Last car on the lead lap in the 8th position. Had some issues between connection problems the night before and some incidents on track. A badly damaged Rick Motec Camaro still runs in the 8th position. That is your lead lap field rundown. Got 13 laps to go. Neil Quick still your leader. 1.4 seconds ahead of the number 46 of David Bradford. That gap is getting bigger and bigger. Did have a question from Eddie Rose, and it's a valid one. I forgot to even get back into it. It's late in the run once again. 12 laps to go. The question was, is Mark still shifting? I just heard someone's engine expire. I'm not sure who it was.
It looked like somebody was sideways.
It was Thomas McMullen. Thomas McMullen is in the pits. No yellow for that incident either. Let's see if we get a replay on it. Little tank slap out of the 0-2. Trying to gather it up, not to wreck in front of the lead lap cars. Thomas McMullen to the inside, safer barrier, backs it in hard. Tough night for Thomas McMullen. That's going to do it for the O2. But again, we talked about Mark Truxel and whether he's shifting or not. We ride on board right now with the number 5 machine in the 3rd position. Yep, he's grabbing 4th gear into turn 1 for certain. Late in the run, he was doing that we saw it in stage 1. Turns 1 and 2 for sure. He was grabbing 4th gear. Running it all the way into 5th, just before corner entry to 3. Keeping it in 5th. Yeah, keeping 5th gear through turns 3 and 4.
That's the
There you
same
go,
as
Eddie.
he was doing earlier.
Yes, sir.
Can we get that view on our leader and see what he's doing?
Let's see what Neil Quick is up to up at the front of the field. He's running a bit different line, but we ride on board now with the driver of the number 2, our leader, Neil Quick.
Looks like he's staying 5th the whole way.
That's 1st and 2nd. We'll double check. It didn't seem like he had it in 4th on corner exit of 4, but let's run it through here. Turn 3. The only variance I see with Neil is he runs the high side in 1 and 2 and the bottom on 3 and 4. Crosses the line, gets 7 laps to go.
He's made whatever line he's took work today.
When we get to the end of this race here, let's try and get Thomas McMullen. He is in the infield care center or just out of the care center. Let's get a word with the driver, the number 02 machine, Thomas McMullen. It's Steve and Eric in the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
Thomas, didn't look like a fun night out there for you tonight. This most recent incident definitely put you out of the race. Tell us what happened.
I was just fighting the car way too hard. Be out there 4 laps down, and the thing finally stepped out from underneath me for the last time, and I nosed into the inside wall. Before that, I almost turned it back into traffic, and I just decided, yeah, that's a close call for me. I don't need to be messing up anyone else's race over this. But yeah, I hate it. It's kind of late in the season to be having these problems, but that's the way it goes. It's just what we got right now with the way this car drives.
Definitely a tough break for you. You started in the 6th spot. Looks like you're going to still finish this thing out in the 9th position. What are your thoughts going into next week?
We got to do better. I mean, that's just what it comes down to. We're going to have a good run next week. And I don't even know where we're going. I can't tell you off the top of my head. But might be smart to go ahead and start running some practice laps.
Next week, we're going to be at Martinsville.
Oh, joy.
Have fun with that one.
I'm sure I will.
All right, Thomas. Well, thanks for coming up and having a word with us here. We got 4 laps to go. Neil Quick out front. We can let you go or you can stay with us. It's up to you.
Yeah, you can let me go.
Thomas not in the mood for brevity here with 4 laps to go, 3.5 to go on the backstretch here at Homestead Miami Speedway. The Miami 200 just about settled. Neil Quick out to almost a 2-second advantage over the 46 of David Bradford, coming to 3 laps to go. I mean, I don't want to be the bearer of bad news, Eric, but that was your pick.
That was my pick.
I even gave you a chance to change it.
I think I changed it to Neil Quick, didn't I? Can we rewind these cameras?
I think it's documented. We can go back and watch it.
I think I picked Neil Quick.
Speaking of Neil Quick, 2 laps to go as he crosses the line. Tough lap for the 46 of David Bradford as that deficit grows to 2.35 seconds here. Neil Quick has just got to bring this one home to the finish. Is to lose. I don't see David Bradford being able to reel him in by a 2.3 second advantage unless a mistake happens out of the driver of the number 2. The closing laps.
Which is rare.
It is very rare. Does happen, but off turn number 4, looking for a white flag. Final lap here in the Miami 200 Superior Class Auto Racing NASCAR Cup Series. Round 4 of the playoffs. Neil Quick started near the back of the field in the 9th position, slowly but surely. Ran his race, kind of sat back of the field through all of stage 1. All magically halfway through the race, finds himself near the front. Makes the challenge to the 46, passes him on multiple occasions, wins stage 2. Gets back by the 46 after a slow pit stop. Passes them under green, and he's off turn 4 looking for a checkered flag. Neil Quick's going to win the Miami 200. David Bradford's going to take home the 3rd position. Mark Truxel handily going to take over the 3rd spot. He is off turn 4 as well. Cody Harger will finish in the 4th position. Good battle for 5th, 6th, and 7th. Brian Rose is going to take the 5th spot. Looks like Jesse Bobo, Vince Short, and Colt Ansley will round out our lead lap finishers. Real quick, your race winner here in the number 2 Spartan Logistics Management Camaro with Quick Esports, R&R Racewear. Celebrates on the front straightaway. Kinda.
He's got to get better at those donuts. As many as he's won.
Yeah, he's got to work on the celebration.
Yeah, he should be a lot better the way he's racking up these wins.
Well, we'll talk about that. Talk to him about that in our interview in just a minute. We're going to step aside, get a word from the Hateful Chicken, and then talk to our top 3 after this. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Homestead, Florida. The Miami 200 is in the books. Neil Quick is victorious. We're going to go down to our winner here in just a moment and get a word with the pilot of the number 2 Spartan Logistics Management Chevrolet, Neil Quick. It's Stephen Eric in the HBR TV booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, guys.
Don't sound so excited, Neil. You just won a race, man, and you did it in fine fashion. You won stage 2. You did it the hard way, made the moves, got around the 46 to David Bradford both times, and led this thing to a checkered flag. Tell us about your night.
You know what? I am pretty excited about tonight after all the troubles of starting the race tonight. And to beat a guy like Dave Bradford and have Mark up there racing with you guys, it's fun racing with these guys, and really happy. Ran a special paint scheme tonight. Kind of a throwback to one of my heroes, Rusty Wallace, and of course Spartan Logistics, a great customer of mine, so I want to give him props tonight and running. And it was a great race. me and David was just talking a little bit about this. That topside really got pretty darn tough in 3 and 4 when the sun went down, and it was tough to run up there. So just by luck of that happening, ended up finding a bottom groove in the middle in 3 and 4 that worked a little bit better.
We did see that, definitely. You were running the high side 1 and 2, and then you switched it up the low side 3 and 4. Was it that much faster, or just easier to keep it off the wall?
Just easier to keep it off the wall, and I think it was. I can't tell you if it was faster or just as fast. The interesting part to it was that after catching up to the guys after stage 1, or at the end of stage 1, I was watching ties between me and David, and as I started moving down, I really wasn't falling off a whole lot. So giving it a try there, further out through stage 2 and the end of the race, I kind of just stuck to my guns. And that last stage there, I let David get out front, and David, of course, is great conserving tires. I've been there before where I've got out front and burned them off, and he got me back there at the end. But just had a little bit more than him, and lucky tonight, and glad to have the spade scheme and to debut and get the win with it.
You talked about your struggles early. Me and Eric both kind of noticed you started in the 9th spot, but kind of rode around the back in the stage 1. It wasn't until stage 2 we saw you near the front. Talk about the issues that you had early on.
Well, as soon as practice was over, my computer completely dropped, and I don't know what happened. It all locked up, so I was scrambled to get back in, and I was supposed to start 9th. I actually started from pit road, and took off and was 11, 12 seconds behind, and just started picking guys off there and trying to maintain time to not go a lap down in the first stage. But that was a lot of work, and once I got to that stage, it got tires, put me back up front where I could see what I had matched up to everybody else, and fortunately had a good car tonight.
Well, job well done, Neil. Congratulations on the victory. I know you already mentioned some sponsors, but we'll give you another opportunity. Thank who you need to thank before we let you get out of here.
Well, definitely want to thank Chris Wally of 5-Star Graphics for the cool looking paint scheme tonight. He knows I'm a big Rusty fan, and did the colors as a throwback to Rusty in his championship year. I know I'm trying to go for a regular season championship on Thursday night with their series. Spartan Logistics, Brian, great customer of mine in R&R Racewear. Give him props. Of course, you guys doing the broadcast every week. Look forward and end up watching the race in its entirety at the end the next day. So, but yeah, all you guys, Hateful Chicken, and all the guys I raced with in the series, appreciate it.
That's Neil Quick, your winner here in the Superior Class Auto Racing NASCAR Cup Series, the Miami 200. Neil, congratulations, and thanks for chatting with us. Next up, we're going to go to David Bradford. Bring David here into the broadcast booth. David, it's Steve and Eric in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Hey, David, man, you look so fast in the beginning of the race in stage 1. Did you get slower as the race went, or did Neil just have a different gear there towards the end?
Well, Eric, this is the kind of thing that happens to you when all you do is practice the top for about a week, and the track changes on you about halfway through the race. He just had the bottom figured out, man, and I didn't. I don't think if I ever would have moved up, I don't know if he would have ever got by me. I know he would have been close, but I just tried moving up that one time, and he just went right on around. Just the top was speed-wise the exact same as the bottom, and I was just giving up way too much real estate up on the top.
Yeah, you guys put on a great show where back and forth, crossing over. Was there any time where your strategy changed throughout that?
No, I mean, I thought the car had gotten tight enough that I could move up to the top and, get good runs off, but it just gave up so much time in the center. It's just, that's where he got by me. Once he cleared me, I was like, oh yeah, this is over, because 1 and 2, everybody had to be on the top. There was just nothing else there. I hate it for the people that had to watch, man, because that really wasn't a great race by any means. Hopefully they get this car a little more figured out, make it a little more fun.
It was definitely entertaining to watch when you guys were crossing over and going back and forth. You got a great finish here, and you're headed into Martinsville next week. What's your thoughts going in there?
I hate to say survival, but that's kind of what it is. Pretty good there. I think I can get another top 5 out of it, if not a win. Would like to get a win to lock into Michigan, but right now we're just going to try and point our way in until we get fortunate enough to, get there. Once we're there, we'll see what happens.
Anybody you'd like to thank, David?
Of course, I got to thank everybody watching the shows, Dad, George, everybody at home. That's again, sorry it wasn't more entertaining than what it was. We did our best, and hopefully we'll come back with some better product next season too.
Thanks, David.
Later.
It was David Bradford, your runner-up here in the Miami 200. Seemingly dejected. Of course, he wanted to win this race, but top point finisher as far as the playoff drivers are concerned. And I don't know about you, Eric, but I thought we had a pretty darn good race to watch. I know there wasn't a ton of guys out there battling, but the battle for the lead between Neil Quick and David Bradford was certainly a show to watch.
Yeah, I'm sure if he goes back and watches that, he'll see that was entertaining. And I think David just, he wants to win every race, and second's good, but when you're David Bradford, you're used to first.
Certainly better than 30th.
Absolutely.
Next up, we're going to go to Mark Truxel, driver of the number 5 Little Tate's Cupcakes machine. Brings it home with a top 3 finish. Mark, congratulations. First of all, do you have a copy of me and Brian here in the HBR TV booth? Mark, it was a fun race to watch. We talked about you early on and how clean and green you are, your lack of incident points in the road racing series, and how that's just how you operate. Keep the fenders on the thing and slowly, methodically work your way towards the front. Seemed to be the same situation here tonight. You bring it home top 3. Tell us about your evening.
I noticed in practice it's going to be a slippery ride, so to speak. So I just kind of want to start in the back. It takes a little while to get going, and I thought the top side was going to be it. The bottom started working for me towards the end of the runs, and I just had to stay with that the rest of the night.
We did notice that you were running the bottom a bit, but we also saw that you were shifting. Most of the guys in the field, in fact, really, I think you were the only one we found grabbing 4th gear. We also noticed it was only going into turn 3 that you dump 4th gear and then drive it all the way down the front stretch, almost just past the start finish line. You'd grab 5th. Was that really to get the car to rotate, or just to keep our engine RPM up? I mean, what was the strategy there?
Really, it was the opposite ends. I was downshifting in 1 and 2. I don't know what it is about 1 and 2, but just can't get around it on the bottom like you can 3 and 4 without downshifting.
Well, Mark, you made it work. Congratulations. It's a good points night for you. I'm sure you wanted a win there, but top 3 is certainly solid considering you started, I think it was in the 10th spot. I don't believe you even took a qualifying lap. Of course, you never do. But here you are. You find yourself up front. Nicely done. Before we let you get out of here, I'm sure there's some sponsors on that race car you want to make mention and thank, so go ahead and do that.
I'd like to thank Little Tate's Cupcakes, AlexMorganImaging.com, Highways Auto Body Auto Repair. And give a shout out to everybody to Hateful Chicken, and you guys do an awesome job with the broadcast, and just gonna have to try to keep the pressure on David.
Well, Mark, again, congratulations. Good luck next week going into Martinsville. That's going to be a survival thing for everybody, and that's something you seem to be pretty darn good at. So good luck going into Virginia.
All right, I appreciate it, and I just want to say thanks to my mom for watching.
Got to get mom in there. Mark Truxel, ladies and gentlemen, 3rd place finisher here at the Miami 200. That is your top 3. Going to wrap up the interview portion of our broadcast. Gotta say, Eric, David had some, I wouldn't say harsh words to say about the broadcast. I mean, he wasn't picking on us by any means, but he said, I just wish it was a better race. I mean, yeah, there's always that opportunity to have a better race. You could have, 10 more cars out there battling for position, 10 quality drivers. But it's not always the case. But everything I have found, especially in this league, the SCAR Superior Class Auto Racing, whether it's Super Late, ARCA, the Road Course Series, even Cup. I mean, we've had our struggles with car counts in some cases, but somehow we always manage to put out a good product. And Neil Quick and David Bradford certainly did that tonight. Stage 2, And of course, the final stage, back and forth, those guys battled for that top spot. Ultimately, Neil Quick wins it.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was a great race. I mean, when those two were battling back and forth, crossing over and doing their thing, I mean, it was very entertaining. And I mean, I enjoyed it. I wish it would have been like that at the end, but I mean, even in the middle of the race, it kept everybody on the edge, you know, because we seen what happened between David and Colt when they were battling a few weeks ago and they got into each other. So everybody was glued to the TV right there at that moment.
Well, again, I for one, you for two. Certainly, I mean, I enjoyed the race. I thought it was a good one. It was not a hard one to call, and that's usually the indication on my end. Races that are usually difficult to call tend to be the losers, because you got to find a way to make them good. And I don't feel like we needed to try very hard to make this look good. I know we had a little bit short field. We had guys that crashed out. We only had 8 cars on the lead lap. It doesn't mean anything. We still had a good race. I thought it was a good broadcast. I enjoyed myself. Eric, you seem to as well. That's why we tune in every week, because you don't know what you're going to get. But lately with Scars especially, they put out a good race, and it was fun to see tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. I can't wait to go to Martinsville and see that race as well.
Well, that's going to be fun too, because you take a track like Homestead Miami Speedway. It's a mile and a half. You got 14 cars out there, and it looks like there's nobody here. Okay, but you put 14 cars on a little half-mile paperclip like Martinsville Speedway, and it looks congested. It's rush hour, and it's going to be that way. Even if the field gets strung out, which I don't expect to see, it's not going to look that way at a small place like Martinsville Speedway. So there's going to be action at every turn, every lap. More than likely, we'll probably miss a lot of stuff, but it is what it is. Just hope you guys all tune in next week, 9 p.m. Eastern time. HBR TV next Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern time. I believe that is the 15th of March, if I stand corrected. I don't know either, do you?
I do not. I was trying to look for it real quick.
Well, it's Tuesdays, guys. It's always Tuesdays.
Yeah, it should be 7 days, which will be March 15th.
Yep, week from today. So we'll go through our finishing order. Of course, Neil Quick is your winner. David Bradford comes home second. Mark Truxel, strong run for that HLC Motorsports driver in the number 5 machine. Cody Harger brings it home fourth. Brian Rose, HBR TV, Holler Boys Racing and Track Bar Media, brings it home fifth. Jesse Bobo, another strong run for him. He finishes sixth. Vincent Short stays with it, finishes in the 7th position. Colt Ansley, speaking of staying with it, finishes 8th. Thomas McMullen, an unfortunate end to his evening. Just a tough night overall for the driver, the number 02 Murder Creek Distillers Chevrolet. He finishes 9th. 10th was Justin Napier after leading some laps, starting on the outside front row, finishes 53 laps down. Jeff Napier, 71 laps down in 11th. Carson Conway, 98 laps down in 12th. Bobby Hamilton Jr. out early as well, 106 laps down for the driver of the Hateful Chicken Ford Mustang. And Alan DeFries, 110 laps down in the 14th position. Not sure what happened with the driver of the number 71, but out early. Usually contender in these Cup Series races, but unable to do that this evening. That's your full field finishing results here at the Miami 200. Once again, I have to thank everyone here in the stream chat, especially tonight. It seems these Cup races are, well, it's the Cup race. Everybody wants to watch the Cup race, but I appreciate all you guys for chiming in the stream chat, being here, watching the stream. We had a good crowd early on. It held strong for quite a while. Certainly appreciate all the comments, questions. We like to interact with you guys when we can. Me and Eric, it's just another element that we get to use within the broadcast. It's much appreciated. So please keep that up. Try to, if you can make the Monday and alternate races, that'd be very helpful too. But if you can't, we understand. But again, big thanks to all of you out there. Eric, thank you for helping me out on these Tuesdays. It makes a world of difference. It's 10 times the broadcast when I've got you up here in the booth with me. So certainly appreciate that.
Thank you. I enjoy it.
Last but not least, Facebook.com/HollerBoysRacingTV. You know the spiel. Like, follow, share, subscribe. Tell your friends, tell your neighbors, tell the mailman, tell everybody. Also on YouTube at HollerBoysRacingTV. Like, follow, subscribe, share. Makes a huge difference. We've gotten a lot of new followers here in the last week or two. And it's all because you guys doing those likes, those follows, those shares. A funny thing I heard recently is if you use the angry likes, things to that effect, or the laughy likes, it actually puts us higher up on the list in Facebook's algorithm. So I won't think you're being mean. You can do that too. All right, we're out of here. For Eric Dotson, I'm Steve Singer with HBR TV. Thanks everyone for watching. Tune in tomorrow night. We've got modifieds from Langley, the OG Racing League, the TRS Tour Modified Series. We'll be live tomorrow evening, 7:45 in the East. Join us. Thanks, guys. Have a good night.